Hi, credit union friends, and welcome to the BD Now channel, season 3, episode 1. I'm excited to welcome Seth Schaefer. He is the Executive Vice President and Chief Impact Officer at Rivermark Community Credit Union. Hi, Seth.
Good morning.
I'm excited about our conversation today about Alice. But first, can you share a little bit about Rivermark and who you serve and how that's evolved?
Yeah, Rivermark is a CDFI, also a low-income designated credit union. We serve the state of Washington and most of Oregon. Our focus really has gone to kind of the roots of why credit unions exist, and those are banking unbanked, historically marginalized communities. And we kind of fell across this methodology called ALICE, and it really has able to hone our target member.
When we spoke about this initially and you were sharing some of the stuff, I thought, wow, what a great lens to look through as we build bridges out into the community and our employer groups. And so for those people that may not fully understand Alice, can you explain a little bit about that?
ALICE is an acronym. It's Asset Limited Income Constrained Yet Employed. It is an acronym created by the United Way, and I would direct people to their website, which is unitedforalice.org. Now, what you're going to discover there is most states have some really in-depth um, information about where our communities struggle financially. Now, when we think financial struggle, often people kind of go right to that poverty line. But the truth of the matter is that people struggle within kind of a survival budget when you look at childcare and housing and food, transportation, all those elements that come to it together. And what we find through this methodology, this survival budget, is that there's a huge portion of Americans that fall within this range. So the ALICE index is those that are falling in that and then into the poverty level as well. But for example, in the state of Oregon, 44% of the citizens of the state are in that index. So they're above the poverty line in, in their survival mode. These are households that are having to make impossible financial decisions, and we know these households where the emergency savings isn't quite there, cash flow is king. It really is why credit unions were created to focus on these households. So really encourage you go to the data. The data tells a story, but it also tells a story of how we can look at ourselves as an industry and create additional access for those households.
Yeah, yeah. And it's impressive what you did. And I think of something to point out too is we're part of that. So these are our employees as well, aren't they, Seth?
Absolutely could be. And it's not
Yeah.
just about what we pay our employees, it's their life situation.
Yeah.
Alice will show that there's a different matrix for single parents or parents that live in certain areas and what help is available in those areas. So it is a complex thing, but they do a great job of kind of laying out the opportunity.
I think any tools in our tool belt that we can utilize when we're having conversations externally out in the community with employer groups to help us explain the value and why people should care about partnering with us is key. And one of the things that when I saw you a few months ago and you said you re-engaged with some employer groups. And so the evolution was, you went community and now you're re-engaging with employer groups. So can you tell us why you did that and the impact that's had for you?
Yeah, if you're in business development and if you're working with Julie, you're in a good spot. But really,
Uh,
we need to package what we do as a credit union and market ourselves and kind of give ourselves the differential. This is kind of going, a lot of us went to a community-based charter, but this is kind of getting, again, back to our roots. Now, when we think about what we do, I would challenge my peers to look through two lenses. One is financial inclusion, and the question is, can I access what you have? So if someone's coming into your organization and saying, hey, I want to open up a membership, how easy is it to do it? And it's not the technology, it is the barriers that we put in place. It could be debt owed or a certain credit score, for example. So looking at that. And from a business development lens, are there special ways that you can engage your employee groups to ease that path? I would challenge us. We often look at those loans that we denied. We rarely look at those memberships we denied. That's a
Mm.
great tool for you. The
Look
second
at the
lens is
memberships.
financial capability. Do you have what I need? And so that's the nuts and bolts, the programs and the products and services. But again, as business development, is there something special you can do for those employee groups that solves a problem that they have in their benefit stack?
And that's how we gain access, right? We have to be a problem solver and look for those rather than just pitch. Yeah. So do
Yep.
some insights on that. So Seth has given us some homework. Great. Thank you. So tell us who you partnered with and how you got re-engaged and how you solved a problem for employer groups.
Yeah, this is actually really interesting because it came through some diary studies we did with Alice, and we ask a simple question of this group is, who do you go to for financial education advice? Well, you probably can guess that the number one answer was the internet. It's Google, and we know
Yep.
that's never been wrong. The second place was friends and
Right.
family. Again, that's a great, but what the eye-opening thing was are two data points. Number one, credit unions, we came in eighth. So our members are not naturally looking to us for that question. But the most important thing here for this audience is what was number three, and that is I go to my employer. And why would they do that? Well, think about it. They've got your benefits, your health benefits, your time off, and other things. So we're like, how can we plug into that amazing data point? And what we found through our diary studies is that in these households, again, cash flow is king. And so how can we create temporary liquidity, those short-term, easy loans to get through it? And so we tried it with our old employees to create a anonymous, a dignified way to get a 0% impact loan. It's like, I need some tires. I need that refrigerator. I've got this thing I've got to get through. That for most of these households, I can't emphasize enough, you cannot buy yourself out of a financial issue. So
Yeah.
we've created this package and we're going to employers now and saying, hey, we've got this program and we can fund it various ways that you're going to create an anonymous 0% impact loan for your employees. And what this does is it lowers absenteeism. It brings engagement. It's another thing that, again, we can partner with our employers with. We've seen employers fund it through employee payroll, like everyone, let's chip in $5. And we see this already, right? Someone gets
Yeah.
sick, we do a PTO donation. This just kind of organizes it for them. We've seen grants come in and say, here it is. We've also seen employers saying, we're going to put some money down to fund this. And so bringing that programming to these employers has been a great way to open some doors. And if you're curious to like, how do I get started with that? I would highly recommend engaging with the nonprofit, the Community Impact Fund. They're based in Colorado. They work with credit unions. It can really jumpstart either your employer kind of testing of it or plugging it into your business development ecosphere.
What a differentiator for us to demonstrate kind of our values. And boy, you're one of us, Seth. I mean, we need to get you like, this is great. You're like business development. You need to come to my summit. Yeah. Um, so has it been received well then by leaders of these companies? Is anyone hesitant to promote the program, or are they in denial about their employees, or do they say, oh my gosh, yes, you're helping us so much right now?
That is a great question because one of the things we found in the study is like our employees and our business development is like, I don't need another loan to fix my loan problem. So it's about shifting mentalities. Like, no, this is not a handout. This is a hand up. This is, the
Hmm.
ramp to get
Hand
across
up.
that chasm. Employers sometimes like we offer so many great employee benefits. We've got a 401k we fund. Well, the funny thing about a 401k is that we're putting money into our employees' pocket that they can't access. And that's why we see such a high version of 401k borrowing. So like
Yeah.
we're incenting them to do the right thing necessarily, but it's not solving their problem. So give them just another tool that is unique to the business that they can speak to it. But you're right. It is a funny little thing that we have to shift our mindset around that this is a benefit. It's not a handout, it's a hand up.
Yeah, hand up. Yeah. And I think even having some mutual goals with them, right? Like maybe the goal is to decrease the amount of 401k loans that are going
Right.
out, or like, and so you're preserving their future. So really
Yeah.
creating that collaborative conversation about ways you can help them, help their employees. And you're right, it does help, employee engagement, absenteeism. It's stressful. I have to take a tree off my property and I've put it off until the city has said, I
Time to
mean,
go.
yeah, time to go. They told me it was safe for a long time. So I was like, okay, leaving it up. But it's $8,000. Like,
Amazing.
I mean, and that's like, I could maybe have part of a new bathroom. Like
Right.
those are big expenses for people to just pay.
Right.
Um, and so, yeah, so I can see how this could really help me
Yeah.
or, anyway,
And we
yeah,
know
people
credit
that,
unions are doing the best they can with their employees.
yeah,
I've talked to credit unions that, hey, we've got a 0% visa that we offer our employees, or we've got this type of loan. The difficulty, though, is that it goes to centralized lending. It's involved within the machine of the credit union. You need something with dignity, something that's anonymous, something
yeah,
that's accessible. And so, kind of
yeah.
taking this next step is a great story again for our select employee groups, but also for our own employees.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, this has been great information, Seth. And I think I invite all of you, we'll make sure to include all of the information and the resources that you've shared. I know you've also done some other interviews, so I'll make sure to link to those as well. That's all good. Um, and we end on a social spotlight. And so I'm just wondering, like, who do you follow and why?
Yeah, two resources, and this is kind of gets to my passions. You can tell I love our industry. I love getting back to our the roots. The first is Simon Sinek. He's kind of the guru of why.
Yes.
And if you have kids, you answer that question a lot. If you have employees, you answer that question a lot. So, how do you make more effective why statements? And I think Simon does it better than anyone else out there. Uh,
Agree.
the second would be Patrick Lencioni, kind of a business guru. He's got some books out there that can really speak to how do you organize yourself within your organization to move things into plan. And for me, a
Yeah.
strategic plan, it's not a to-do list, it's a momentum instrument. And so with Patrick
Yeah.
Lencioni, how do you create momentum step by step, fail fast, fail cheap, sometimes we are in a risk adverse industry. How do you
Hmm.
create
You think?
opportunities that, yeah, you can take a
Yeah.
risk, fail fast, fail cheap, but maybe hit something really amazing?
Yeah. And I think, the time is now for business development, community development. Things have changed a lot and we need to start trying. And so, looking at last year and looking at this year, what are you doing that's new? And Seth, you're giving us something to take a look at through the lens of Alice. Like, let's do our research. Let's incorporate it into our conversations when we're meeting with leads at our employer groups, the leaders. Let's talk about it within the community. I feel like it's something that we can really take forward. And so thank you for sharing your information, your data, and I wish you nothing but success at Rivermark as you continue to build relationships in the community that I live in Portland,
Yeah, well,
Oregon.
thank you, Julie. Always great partnership with you and the momentum and the passion you bring to our industry as well. So
Oh,
keep
thank
doing
you.
what you're doing.
Oh, thank you, Seth. We appreciate you. All right. We'll see you next time, everyone. Thank you for joining us.